My boy Okarun's finally stepping up. My boy Okarun's finally stepping up and taking the stage. I've been waiting for this moment. I've really been waiting for this moment because it feels like the entire series, and don't get me wrong, I love this. The entire series, it's been feeling like Ayase is just saving Okarun's butt. She's a bad and I love that stuff. But I've been waiting for that moment where finally Okarun himself will step forward by himself and handle a situation. And I feel like this was finally that moment. This was that moment right here. And it's a culmination, let's be honest. It's a culmination of everything that's kind of been building up since, I think it was around Toro's story, where he had this whole situation where he's out there and he's exercising and whatnot. He's trying to get fit. He's trying to get stronger because he wants to be able to protect Ayase. And I feel like, and it's funny how it's technically a callback to there because the move that he uses is literally his exercises there. I've been feeling like ever since then, it's really like his focus of getting stronger so that he doesn't have to rely on Ayase and he can protect her. And he had this like little scene where they're on the way to this location and Gigi says that he wants to be his friend. And so now Okarun has a friend. He has a friend and he has a girl that he likes, that he wants to protect, people around him that he wants to be stronger for. And here it is. Here's that moment right here. Finally, he's just like picks up Ayase, saves her, get her out of the situation, handle Evil Eye himself, steps up there, and does a fantastic job. And I'm like, my boy. Ayase still has a great, kicking butt moment in this episode, but at least right here, seeing Okarun finally step up and say, you did 3 things wrong. Give him the 3 things wrong. You hurt Ayase, you took over Gigi's body, you desecrated him, and you made him harm Ayase, which she would never do before, and you me off. You did the 3 things wrong. It didn't last very long, but again, that's to his powers. He's still trying to get used to it, but he did so good in this episode. I really loved it. But yeah, episode 15, let's go through the episode proper, kicking off the episode with, yes, Okarun taking Ayase and getting out of there, her doing like a quick thank you for saving my butt before they get off this side. I love this because it's like this whole moment where, yes, again, he's trying to get Ayase out of the situation and she's panicking, trying to figure out what we're going to do. What the hell are we going to do? This is a bad situation. They're figuring out about the whole like poisonous gas that's coming, trying to figure out a way to get out of there. And Okarun's decision is to use the power of his legs to literally launch her out of there. Just launch her out. It's like, I don't want to leave Gigi and you alone. No, you get out here, you get a rope or something, and you can get us back out of here. Cute little moment there of her taking his hand. I thought that was really, really sweet. Again, they're really doing well to kind of slowly blossom their relationship. But yeah, that launches her out of there. Absolutely launches her out of there. And the entire time I'm thinking, why don't you use the hands to grab the ledge? And it's like slowly kind of falling back. I'm like, girl, grab the ledge, get out of there. But yeah, once she gets out of there, she starts panicking, trying to figure out what she wants to do. I was trying to figure out what the hell she was talking about initially, because she was talking about, yes, earthworms, dying, like forcing their own death. And I'm like, what is she talking about? Why is she burning stuff? What does this have to do with anything? I don't know how she came to the conclusion that setting fire to the house will cause the firemen to arrive and the water from the fire trucks would be enough to wet the soil enough to get the worm to come out. Like, if that was enough, then it would be enough just to have, like, I don't know, rain. I guess the idea is how much water was pouring in there. Either way, it was a cute little scene with her and Gigi back in the day when he kind of explained how earthworms, again, after rain, just pretty much run away from the water and then just kill themselves. In a sense, they just cause their own death. But yeah, the earthworm finally comes out. She's afraid that they're not going to be able to do it fast enough. She's like, just pour the water on the ground. They're like, ma'am, you gotta go. You're a suspect. You're after the Kitos, aren't you? We're gonna have to take you in. I'm not sure why she so quickly admitted that she caused the fire. I mean, I guess the idea there was that, yes, an accident happened. She's being truthful that, yeah, accidents happen, houses burned down. But again, you're not a resident of the house, and to admit something like that, it's going to put a lot of speculation on you. But no, thankfully, the worm comes out. I don't know how, again. I guess it's just because it's enough water that the worm sensed it and just feared that it was going to suffocate, and it immediately came out. But yeah, the moment comes out there, and it hides behind the building. She did the whole like cho moment, grabs the fire truck. It was funny because I seen the 2 fire trucks, and then when she go to hit it with the fire truck, I didn't see the fire truck in the background anymore, and then suddenly there was another fire truck again. So somebody goofed up in the animation department, but the way she like just hits it with this massive fire truck. I like how she comes up there and she starts turning into her grandma. Oi, what's wrong? What's wrong, huh? What's wrong? It starts moving again. She's like, whoa. It's just so goofy how she just turns into like this total like boss, like a Yakuza boss out of nowhere, turns into her grandma and starts getting like all uppity, like she's like super powerful and she could take this thing on, and then immediately gets all defensive mode when it starts moving again. But no, it spits out the Kitos. And this was interesting because I wasn't thinking that the Kitos would have been consumed because, again, like I've said before, in the manga, it looked like at least the grandma, not all of them, but the grandma at least got away. Well, yeah, it does seem like it did consume all of them. Maybe it just attacked him later in the manga. But yeah, the moment that she comes out there, immediately starts blaming Ayase. It's all your fault. How could you do this to the earthworm? And it's like, hey, the thing ate you. No, I like when she initially is like, oh, look, you survived. Good for you. She's just like, good for you. You survived. All right. She's like, no, it's your fault. Everything's going to be your fault. It's all over. Question mark. Yeah, because essentially she killed the earthworm. And then suddenly out of nowhere, eruption starts happening. And that kind of obviously catches Ayase off guard. The assumption there coming into this is that this whole ritual is just BS. That the earthworm has nothing to do with the volcano. And that it's just some stupid cult they created that they think they have to, appease the gods that are controlling the volcano. Like most cults would have on an island with a volcano. They're going to make this stuff up. They're just gonna believe that this is what you have to do in order to stop this. I'm not really sure what that would have to do with anything. I guess the only thing that I can really think of is possibly the earthworm itself was blocking the magma. By moving around underground, it was causing sort of relief cavities for the magma to move around so that it doesn't cause an eruption. So there's no pressure to really build up. Either that or it was consuming the magma. But if that was the case, how would it immediately erupt the moment that the earthworm's dead? That doesn't make any sense. Again, my assumption was that it coming out of the ground could have opened up a channel that would create the pressure, but I don't know. We'll see. It could turn into being some sort of supernatural effect, but it seems odd that the volcano would immediately start erupting if it was something physical. Because that's the thing that I've always liked about the series is that it's always one of those elements of like, yes, there's aliens. Yes, there's, the paranormal, but there's also logic within there as well. That everything is not specifically to those things. A lot of things are physical. So I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be some sort of supernatural thing that was creating the volcano. We'll see. It could be, I don't know, it could just be all the crap that they're doing down there is causing a bunch of stuff to screw up. But again, that's not how a volcano works. That's not how volcanoes work. It would be interesting if the abilities that the worm has, which again was similar to evil eyes, causing people to harm themselves, if that has something to do with the volcano. I doubt it, though. We'll see, though. But yeah, the stuff around Okarun, again, him finally stepping up and doing a good job. Him taking on evil eye, fighting him tooth and nail. The fight itself was okay. I was kind of hoping a little bit more. There was some really fantastic shots, especially with Okarun like running around all into the walls and everything like that, just through the different channels and whatnot. It was really super cool. Obviously, a GG/evil eye, absolute brute, absolute brute. But no, I think the more interesting point of this whole thing was at some point, finally, evil eye speaking up and saying, stop running around like a mouse, but hey, that's what I want. I want to play to the fullest and use my full potential. Like, it seems like even though he is frustrated by Okarun running around, this is good. It's allowing him to really kind of flex and, again, play. There's that little statement in there about play. There is still an element here of almost like a child that wants to play. Again, that's what he was asking for before Gigi finally said, yes, I'll play with you as long as you want. Let's play. There's still like a childish manner in there somewhere. But here's where it gets kind of interesting, because he throws one of these little balls of grudge at him, which seems to be like a culmination of all these vengeful spirits, all these kids and people with grudges. Throws it at Okarun, and it immediately opens up to encase him inside of a house. The symbolisms here is crazy. It's not crazy like in depth, but it's crazy to have this sort of creation. And the idea that Okarun ends up getting boxed in by the grudges of all the people that have been trapped in the houses as sacrifices. Literally all the grudges and vengeful spirits have become sort of the cage that they've all been put inside of. Something they're very familiar with because that was the point of their death. Causing Okarun to not be able to escape before, yes, Evil Y just walks right into it and starts just beating the crap out of Okarun. It was a little bit sad there, again, especially seeing that little brief moment where it almost kind of looked like it was Okarun as a child being stuck in there, almost giving him a vision of him being along with everybody else trapped to their death. It was interesting to see that there was a lot of adults in there as well, which I think that was sort of implied in the idea that they always want 3 people. They always want 3 people for the sacrifices, and that's always going to be assumed to be the mom, the dad, and the child. Even though it seemed like one of the cases where Evil Eye was able to possess was a case of a single child that was alone, stuck in the house, and buried alive. But yeah, that doesn't last long. Evil Eye beating the crap out of Okarun before he finally, again, gets really mad. He makes a massive mistake in saying, after I finish you, I'm going to go after that girl. She's the next one up. I'm going to mess her up. I'm going to torture her and torture her and torture her. And that finally sets off Okarun. You made 3 mistakes. Grabs him. You made 3 mistakes. You made 3 mistakes. You hurt Momo. You defiled my friend specifically. He brings up, that's my friend, and you defiled him and caused him to harm Ayase. There's 2 things there. You both took over his body and you forced his body to harm Ayase, who's also his friend. And then yeah, later on, it's also pissed me off. But I love it because it is so funny because it jumped out to be so fast. I'm like, what is he doing? He goes down, crashes down low, and then he jumps up and he punches. And I'm thinking he's just doing like an uppercut or something like that, and like using his leg strength because it seems like a lot of his power is his legs. He's f***ing fast. It's the Turbo Granny speed. That's the legs. It's all in the legs. But he's utilizing literally the exercises that he's been doing nonstop to do that. The crutches. He's doing the crutches. And he's just doing that over and over again to beat up Evil Eye. And I'm like, because it's like the whole thing of like, why is he counting up? Oh, he's counting literally the sets. He's counting the sets and reps. Like, he's literally exercising Evil Eye to death. He's exercising the evil spirit. It was dorky. It was super dorky. But again, I'm just happy to see Okarun finally stepping up and doing stuff. We still had, again, Ayase kicking butt at the same time, but my boy Okarun, he's growing up. He's growing up. He's doing good. I almost forgot. Yeah, after he beats him up, he's all wiped out. And then he hears Turbo Granny. He goes to try to get Evil Eye out of there, or Gigi out of there, but then he hears Turbo Granny down there, still in the stuff down there. And he runs down there. And at the time, Turbo Granny is literally in tears. I'm going to be stuck down here for forever. Because, yeah, if they get out of there and she's left behind, she's stuck there for eternity, pretty much, until somebody comes down there. She's stuck down there and she's crying. Please, somebody, Daskete, somebody help me. And so Okarun goes down there. Oh, I thought you were with Ayase. And goes to help her get out of there. And he ends up getting stuck. But it's like a little brief moment of Turbo Granny, like, being so happy to see Okarun. Like, a little brief moment of like, oh, so she can be happy to see somebody when you need something. It was funny that the anime added that he went and got different little panels to step on to get to her. Because, yeah, as you see at the very end, Ayase is able to walk through this stuff just fine. I think they were just kind of implying in the anime that he had to be super careful for some reason. But yeah, ends up getting stuck anyway, so doesn't matter. I was hoping that when the earthworm went out of the cave, it would have spit them out, but apparently not. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. I did see a little bit of a snippet in the preview for the next episode, which I probably shouldn't be looking at, but I seen a little snippet in the preview that, spoilers for those who don't like previews that are at the end of the episode, there's a little snippet at the end of the preview that shows Grandma's showing up. So I'm kind of curious if I'm going to end up having what I was asking for the last episode. When I seen the Grandma Kito fighting, I'm like, I want to see this lady fighting Seiko. I want a Seiko versus Kito Grandma, because this has to happen. And again, they show a very, very brief shot of Seiko. So I'm really hoping that ends up being that episode. Next episode might be like legit hype. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, good episode. Loved it. Looking forward to more. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment, let me know it's the episode. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. Like this content, you want to support channel more, I have links in the script below. Become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.